Okay, so when you first get your iPad, before you do anything, you'll obviously open it up and you'll wonder what to do next. Now the first thing is the button up the top. You need to hold it down for a couple of seconds and you'll see a little Apple icon. To turn off your iPad, you need to use the same button at the top. Don't press it quickly, hold it down for a little while. While we're waiting for our iPad to load up for the first time, this button here is your navigation button that will always pull you to your home screen. Okay, so this is assuming that you haven't set up your iPad yet, so I'm just going to go through the process here. So this here, it's because it's a touchpad, you just basically drag that and move it across, and that will set up and set you up for the prompts that are about to come. So we read through, this is going to be language, so obviously I want English. And every time I click on something or agree on something, I click on the next button at the top. So choose my country, going to be Australia. Again, click on the top. This question is asking you about your location services. The reason that we have location services is so that we can help find our iPad and it makes our apps more useful. For example, if you're using Google Maps, it's really easy to find where you are and where you want to go. So I always recommend turning location services on. When you get to this page, it's going to ask you to log in or connect to a Wi-Fi network. So one of the things I'm going to do right now is connect to my network. Oh, that's not my network. So I just touch the network that's relevant to me and I sign in. So I've signed in, it will connect me and I can just click next. So what I'm going to do now is assume that I'm setting up a new iPad. If you do have iCloud or iTunes from maybe your home computer, you can click on that, but I'm going to set up as a new iPad. So it's going to ask me a few things here. Again, if you want to sign in with an Apple ID, if you've already used Apple products before, you just click on Apple ID, you put in your username and password. However, we're going to pretend that we're brand new at Apple, and there we click on create a free Apple ID. Now this is going to ask you a lot of questions about personal questions about you in order to determine security. So I'll show you a shot of each page, but I'm not going to show you exactly what happens on each one. To figure out your birthday, you just scroll up or down like this and you figure out where you fit. Okay, you can just stop on that. When you're done, you press next. The next question will ask you your first name and last name. You put that in as normal. Next one will ask whether you want to get a free iCloud address or whether you want to use your current email address, which is this one selected here. I'm going to use a current email address because this is a work iPad for me. So I just click next and that will give me a prompt. The next page asks for a password. Be aware that it will require at least 8 characters, so 8 figures, and it requires a number and an uppercase and lowercase letter when you're deciding on your password. Also, the next one will ask you for a security question. You can choose from a number of security questions down here, or you can create your own. Just a hint with creating your own question, do not write, the street that I live on, or something that will be obvious to guess, which is why these prompts are usually quite good, because there's something you probably haven't written down anywhere or on the internet, and something that you know yourself. When you're done, you can click next. Now it's going to ask me whether I want email updates about Apple. For me personally, I do, but if you wish not to get those email updates, you can just click off or on. The terms and conditions for using the iPad are laid out here. Something you might be interested in personally is your privacy policy, which is Part D. The others are terms and conditions of appropriate use. It's worth giving them a look through. You just click on the one you want to read when you, and then you can scroll through and read as much of that as you're interested in, and go back if you wish to up there. But I agree to these. I agree. Now it's going to create my new Apple ID so that I can sync all my devices and download all the information I need. Okay, this question is asking me about iCloud. I'm going to go through iCloud as a separate vodcast a bit later. At this stage for me, I'm a PC user. I don't really like using iCloud. I use some other things. If you want to use iCloud and you want to set that up now, you can. You can always come back to this later. And for the purposes of this vodcast, I am not going to set up iCloud. This question's asking whether you want to help Apple out with, so you can tell them what you use. It's completely up to you. It's a personal preference. The idea is that it will hopefully update certain devices for you. Once you're set up and ready to go, you can start using your iPad and you can move on to the next tutorial.